Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut at Your Service. My name is Carmen Nieves, and I am your host. And we come to you live each Tuesday right here at 6:30, where we look to educate, engage, and inform our viewers about individuals that are making a difference through the work that they do and give back to the community with purpose. Before I start off this show, I just want to give some love and some shout out to my team. My associate producer, Terry, who's been holding it down for me while I've been out and away. But I am back, and we are in it to win it with the host that we have today. So I want to introduce to you Mr. Patrick Ricketts, Mr. Powerhouse Pat. I feel like I should be doing like a basketball something. So I am so excited to introduce to you guys this our guest today, who is a lifelong Bridgeport resident, has had a career, a very diversified career that we're going to talk about. And I can't wait to welcome you. So Pat, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Carmen. Thank you for having me.
problem.
I'm excited to be here. Grateful first and foremost.
So you and I know each other because we're taking a business class together.
Absolutely.
And then I go to find out you own a cell phone store and you're like into music and help seniors and all things like that. So tell me a little bit about how your career has grown, because you were in basketball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so start with that.
Okay, how you guys doing? Pat Ricketts from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Went to Sacred Heart University actually in 83. Wow. 1983.
He said it.
Wow. And moved on from there and really got into power washing. I had a power washing business, and that was a lot of fun, but it really wasn't for me. And then we kind of, moved into retail. And it's just something that I really enjoy. Love helping people out and, make a little money on the side.
Mm-hmm. And since then, so you were doing the power washing, and how did you get into cell phones and the store? And we have a lot of questions because my husband asked me to ask you a question.
I got you.
So especially about devices and things like that. But how did you make the transition from power washing into retail?
Okay, so there was a gentleman who had a video store at the time. His name was Dillard Jones. Dillard was actually a community guy as well. He worked in the city of Bridgeport down at the courthouse. And Dillard had a store called Family Video. So what Dillard did was he allowed me to go into his business, and he gave me an opportunity to learn pagers and videos. And with that information, I took and I opened my own shop. I'm not sure that I would do the same thing that he did, which was great of him, because there's only a certain number of customers in each city, and he was willing to share those with me. And, for that, I'm eternally grateful.
And you mentor people from that. So I think that we were talking about how there's lessons learned, right?
Absolutely.
So you've transitioned into doing the store. And then one of the things that you were talking about, that kind of your work is about helping people or helping yourself and helping other people so that you don't make the same mistakes, or that you're a better business owner. What is some advice you would give to people that are business owners?
Well, the first thing I would say is first believe in yourself. Believe in, your dream, and then, just really work hard at making it happen. Once it's happening though, right, it's still very important to be able to keep and to grow. And, there's different ways to do so. I had to actually take the route of trial and error. And I'm not going to say it's not the right way to go, because I wouldn't be successful without it. But there are classes that you can take. I wish the city offered, honestly, a class so that people would be able to learn about even like the property taxes, or what the requirements are. In order to get your license to sell, you should have to go through a course or something. And I think that would add to everybody's understanding of what their responsibilities are regarding that. But just as an individual, I would say, just, believe in yourself and don't let anything stop you. I think those are probably the most important things to have.
And so we were talking earlier, and it sounded so impressive when you were talking to me about it, that you actually belonged to this group called The Firm.
Yes.
And it was these retail music stores. And
Yes.
tell me a little bit about that, because
So-
I thought that was a great story.
Yes. So The Firm was a group of retail record owners in the United States. So there was probably over 200, 300 of us, and through The Firm, they directly connected us to the record labels, and with that, we were able to get marketing dollars for our stores, and we were invited to a lot of special events. Like it was really great for us to be able to experience some of the things that happened, and with that, we had an obligation to make sure that the customers knew who this artist was. So, and that happened through marketing or, just all the different tools that they gave us to be able to. But The Firm was great. We even did shows. They allowed the record labels to give us artists. So I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of Tank or Jaheim. There's a lot of older school R&B artists that we had at our disposal, and we were able to use in order to not only heighten their awareness of this artist, but also to allow people to reach out and touch them.
And I think that's one of those little known secrets, that's how you were. You'd be, this artist is like all over the place
Yes,
now,
yes.
You didn't really know that. I think one really great fun fact was that you were in entertainment before a lot of your businesses,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
How did that kind of start off, and what kind of entertainment was
Wow.
it?
Well, I'm an old school rapper. I used to rap. We used to travel to New York to a studio in the Bronx called Jazzy J's Studio. It was myself, another friend of mine called Chase, and another friend called Gary. But actually, to be honest, I have to take this back even further because
Taking it back further.
I got to go even further back. Let's rewind. What it is there was an MC back in the days. His name was T-Bone. T-Bone and Star Child really influenced my love for hip hop. And there was a bunch of Spanish brothers on the east side of Bridgeport called Soul Sounds Incorporated. Soul Sounds invited me in and allowed me to be one of their MCs, and we're talking about the early 80s. And with that, my love for hip hop grew. Ultimately, was a part of 2 or 3 other groups, and I just wanted to mention those Soul Sound because they were one of the first. And it's 50 years of hip hop right now, so I just want everyone to know that there was a group on the east side of Bridgeport named Soul Sounds that was great, and they allowed me to be a part of their group. And from that, like I said, my love for hip hop music grew, and I'm still in love with hip hop.
I think there might have been a movie that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
take that. So when you talk about being in entertainment, being how the artists were developed and they were using the local stores in order to do that, and you see how we were talking earlier, how music has changed.
Yes.
How do you see music, how has music and technology changed?
Wow.
And where do you see it going now? Because now artists have to be different, right?
Yes.
You've got to really diversify in order to get your sound out because it's so competitive.
Well, yes. In a lot of ways, it's a lot easier, right? Because now the artists have the ability to just make a song and put it on Facebook or put it anywhere, and it can be viewed by millions of people. Whereas back in the day, we didn't have that ability, and I think that then it was a little more difficult to get out and to be heard, and it's really. Again, hip hop is my love. So to see people now have the ability to get heard so quickly is something that I wish could have happened a little bit earlier.
How do people make money though, like on Facebook or whatever? Is it like the number of views? How is the artist protected? I mean, I think even way back we had issues with,
Yes.
we've heard about, celebrity singers and artists and all of that even their contracts were bad.
Yeah.
So,
So what they started to do, probably at the time where I knew I had to diversify, they started coming out with something called a 360 deal. With a 360 deal, the artists it wasn't just the music, it was the merchandising, and it was anything associated with their name. And so music now at this point is somewhat free, right? It's more of a promotional tool than it is necessarily a monetary tool. So you use this to promote that, and then now you get your merch and you make your money off of your concerts. So that's how artists are making their money nowadays. Not so much off of the streaming like now, because streaming is, they make pennies on streaming. And, because of that, at least they have an opportunity to sell product that's associated with their name.
Wow. So now we're going to flip back to technology.
Let's go.
Right? So we were talking about this a little bit earlier, that technology is absolutely the way to go. I think we were in class talking about how the guy that had started talking about the cell phone, he was like, this isn't going to do it, and the guy believed in it. He's like, we're going to do that, and almost every single person. My grandchildren have phones.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Before, I can't even remember. I think I got my phone when I was out, probably already pushing my 20s, but what are some of the important things that, let's start, because you have children, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You have 5 children, right?
Yes.
So what are the ages? We won't say where they are, whatever, but what are the age range?
So my oldest is 32.
Okay.
After that, I have a 29-year-old, then I have a 23-year-old, and then I have a 14-year-old and a soon-to-be 13-year-old who's 12.
He's like, don't get it wrong.
I got to be on point here. I don't want to.
So technology is, at least for the last 12 years, technology has been really big. So 2 things I want you to, if you could address. One, are there safeguards that parents can take to make sure that their children are safe?
Absolutely.
With technology? I don't know if there's apps or anything like that. And then in business today, what's important for people to have in their technology, right? Because we do everything from our phones. I don't know how we worked before that. Or remote.
Yeah, we can't even think without our phones. I actually didn't have my phone for about 3 hours today, and it was crazy. I just felt lost and naked and afraid.
My husband said, why are you always on your phone? I don't know. And even now, it's almost like businesses are almost expected to be responsive, right? Because you have access to it on your computer or on your telephone. But as we were talking about, what might be, if parents are getting their children devices, what might be some things that they might want to safeguard for their children?
Well, believe it or not, a lot of phones have, where you can just block the content. There's different things that you can do. There are phones that you can buy. I forgot the name of it. Might have been not a jitterbug. I'm trying to remember, but there's a specific phone that they had came out with just for kids. We don't offer it though because the plans were really horrible. And you can really. I suggest that everyone monitor their kids' usage of their phones, and also just block certain sites from them. To be able to get to.
And are there any good devices for small business owners that you recommend, or that they might be able to use, or?
Well, basically, iPhones and iPads and Androids, all these different brands in a sense, are really, they work well. I don't think that. Because everyone needs to get an email, right, if you're in business, what I mean? And most of the stuff that we need is available to us either through an application or directly on our phone. So with the popularity of cell phones, really, it's just really changed everything. The landscape has changed completely, Now you can, have a meeting, we can do, what is that called? Zoom, yeah, you can do a Zoom meeting, all these things
work
we've
remote.
never heard of, yeah.
So you could be doing 2 or 3 things at the same time, this is just unheard of before. And we're I don't know how we ever worked otherwise.
For 4 hours today, I didn't know how I was working. I was lost.
All those things kind of make a difference. I think one of the things that I celebrate, and part of why I'm really happy to have you on the show, is we like to celebrate individuals that are making a difference in what they do to give back to the community. And your store actually helps seniors, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are some of the things that they come in and talk to you about that you give them help with?
Well, one of the things we see the most is their Facebook and their WhatsApp. they are,
They're using WhatsApp?
always, they're
I've been
always
using WhatsApp.
Well, reason why is because a lot of our clientele is international. So WhatsApp is a great opportunity for them to see the people that they love right on their phone. And so, there's always issues with them transferring their phone or getting a new phone or, not being able to access the app. Same thing with Facebook for the most part. So, it's a joy to us when they come in because in addition to knowing the fact that if they go someplace else, most people are just going to walk past them. But, I lost my mother in 2013, and I think, grateful, she was a great lady. But with that being said, I always think about how she would be in need and if there would be someone there to help her.
So guess what? We've got a call.
Oh, let's go.
Hello and welcome to Connecticut at your service. Do you have a question for Powerhouse Pat?
I do, thank you. So I guess the question, and you were kind of just getting to that subject, but speaking about, helping, an older population with technology, how would you give advice to deal with that? Because I have a lot of, elderly people in my family, and I can get frustrated trying to help them out. But, I know that they need the help because, the world is just expanding so fast with technology. So what kind of advice would you give?
Well, it really depends on what the issue is that they're having, right? But, overall, I mean, because we're pretty knowledgeable in the store as far as what you can do and what you can't do on your phone. And, we just, sit with them at the same time that we're giving them the information. We're also showing them, what they can do in order to not run into the same problems that they're facing. But, again, a lot of times, we do have repeat offenders, and they come back with some of the same issues. And, again, just being knowledgeable of what their issue is probably the most important part of being able to help them.
And patience, right?
And patience,
because
absolutely.
One of our crew said that they went to your store and actually they got exceptional service.
Yeah.
So that's really, really great to hear. Caller, did you have another question?
I did. I just have one more question, and I was wondering when the book is coming out because it sounded like the really cool stuff happened in the 90s.
Well, you know what? And I need to work on that because, soon we'll have a podcast to be able to, give you guys a better idea of some of the things that, we were into.
And we didn't even get to that. So
I jumped ahead. Thank you very much. You pushed us ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, caller, and have a great day. So we were talking a little bit about one of the things, matter of fact, it made me think because we had a conversation probably the other day. And I had mentioned to you about being a work site and giving young people an opportunity for them to have work experience. It's always way attractive to work in a cell phone store. And actually, you told me a reason why they had to be a certain age. Share that, because I don't think a lot of people know.
Okay, well, so being in the cellular business is hilarious at times. Sometimes it's better than others. And the reason why I want the people to be 18 or over is because people have some of the craziest things on their phone. And so I wouldn't want someone's child to try to help someone with their phone and then have access to things that they shouldn't be seeing. And depending upon the individual, sometimes people can be disgusting and, just have pictures or whatever it is on their screen. And sometimes people want a reaction. So
plus you're selling things and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Writing contracts.
Yes,
and things,
absolutely. And because of that, the possibility of that is why I choose to go usually with 18 and over.
Mm-hmm. But I've noticed that in other places too, and I really wasn't sure.
Okay.
Because in my everyday job, we work with employers, small businesses like you, to give young people an opportunity and work experience. And like working on anything with construction because they're using, electrical equipment and stuff like that. They're not allowed to do that. So I really wanted to just kind of point that out. And I had mentioned to you, kind of while you're out doing all these great things in music and phones and all of that, kind of who holds you down?
Well, I want to give a big shout out to my staff. These guys are professional, and they work hard and they're very dependable. We have 2 locations right now. One of them is called Phone Depot. We're in the old Price Right parking lot there, the old Radio Shack. And we also have another business. It's a Boost Mobile store on the corner of East Main and Boston Avenue. And, without these employees that are so dedicated and knowledgeable, I would be stuck in there like a fixture like I was for most of my career, in a sense. I was stuck in that store every single day, and they've come along and they've actually given me some freedom and some peace.
You gave me an analogy that said that when you were in the store and we're in there all the time. Share that analogy.
Yeah, so basically I was just a fixture in the store. So, you can expect to walk in and see me there just like you would see a showcase or see the phones. That was my life. And, I never missed a day. Couldn't, And again, I'd like to thank them for giving me an opportunity to be a human being and not just furniture.
So when you're not in the store, what are some of the things that you're doing out in the community or for your business or?
Okay, well, we support, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Ortiz Boxing.
Yeah.
We're always,
Yeah.
contributing to them. And actually, we got something coming up next month with them. Just trying to be a voice of reason with the youth. Within my store, like I was saying earlier, it's almost like I am a therapist. People come in with different problems and different, thoughts, and not just, cellular.
That would be my problem. I'd be like, oh my God.
And so with that, we're able to, help out the community a little bit more so than just phones. So really big on community and making sure others are good. Give back all the time, and it's enjoyable.
And one of the things that we always talk about on this show is that, I did a survey of like 100 businesses, and I met with 61 individuals and did a formal survey for them. And a lot of them say that they would be involved in things that make our community better, but nobody ever asked them for anything other than money.
Yeah.
Like yours is such an impactful story of how, born and raised in Bridgeport, played basketball here in Connecticut, have had several businesses, so you've learned a lot over your career.
Absolutely.
So I know that you started your career in entertainment and you're going back to entertainment. So share a little bit of that.
Well, funny, also, I do a little comedy as well. And because my staff is so good, it afforded me an opportunity to go and take a class on comedy. And, with the peace and the freedom, now I can delve back into things that mean something to me more than, standing in the store. So I can pick up my love again for writing. So worked on a little movie script that we have that we're working on. Also working on a cartoon that we're working on. And also, like I've been saying, getting into podcast and, just really going back to what makes me me. The things that I love the most.
Who are the people that inspire you?
Wow. Right now, as far as artists, I
or
was
anyone, life, family.
Well, I was on a podcast last year. It's called Bruise. I can't remember the name. Bruise something Bruise. That's not a good advertisement for y'all.
Look it up.
Yeah, sorry. Bruise and Bruise, I don't know. But I was on their show, and actually seeing the setup and actually being able to participate gave me a little bit more desire to get into it myself. So I was definitely inspired by what they're doing.
I think that's just great. So what's next for you?
Rhythm and Bruise podcast. Sorry
There you
about
go.
that. Rhythm and Bruise, it was hiding in there. Okay.
It was hiding in there. I'm glad you were able to share so our viewers can find it. So in the writing and in the cartoon, kind of what is the next step of that evolution? Like, where are you in that process?
Well, just at the forefront of it. Also, I'm working on a trucking company as well. So I'm all over the place.
You're gonna need like 3 more people.
Yeah, and 2 more heads. And so wait, I'm sorry, what did you ask? I forgot the...
See, I already forgot the question, so you threw me off. What's next for you in the book and the things that you're doing, in the movie rather? What's the next step in your evolution of that?
Wow. To be honest, I haven't I don't see past kind of with all those things because I haven't accomplished them yet. So those things are still in the running. And I'm sure there'll be spin-offs with those as well. You know, there's more that I want to do for the community as far as, you know, helping the youth out. You know, there's a couple things that I got in mind there. It's called Kidults, because kids are kind of going from kids to adults from the age of 16 to like 22. Like not
Was that's the name of your movie? Or?
No. That's something that's in my brain. It's something else that I want to do.
Makes sense. Yeah. And what is that? You're writing a book? What is that?
Well, no, that is something, a program that I want to kind of offer in the future. I'm not there yet, guys, but it is something, you know, that I can see myself doing in the future.
You know, half the battle is voicing it.
Yes.
Right? So now that you put it out into the universe, it's going to come
back, yes.
It's going to come. So you just have to be ready. I mean, and one of the things that we had talked about, and I had said, what advice do you give people? And you really just said, be yourself.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're fearless.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I'm interested in that. I'm going to try that.
I'm going to do that, yeah.
I was doing a cartoon, but now I'm going to do a truck. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
And I think in this city, as you were talking about, kind of helping to evolve small businesses, the city of Bridgeport has a small minority business office. And they're having some other things that are going on with the city. It's just that they don't really advertise it unless you come looking for it.
Well, I got to say, I just received a letter from one of my stores from the same minority council, and I'm not in there like I should be, but I will fill that out and get that back to you guys. You know?
And it makes a difference just to be involved, and I think you're in a great place of, I see you giving testimony and all the different things that you do and all that you've learned, and helping people get to their next level.
Absolutely.
And you got as funky glasses as I do, so already we were like right there in class. And I think we are kind of in that same place of looking to evolve,
Growth.
looking to make the community a better place by
Absolutely.
what we do and where to offer. So having you on the show was very timely because you're getting ready to go on vacation, so I just literally just got you.
I'm out of here.
Literally just got you.
I did want to say something else. You know, the only limitation that you have is the one that you create for yourself. If you feel like you can't, then you won't. And in a lot of situations, I've seen me do impossible things just because I believed that I could.
And giving yourself the permission. I had did a workshop a few, maybe last year, and it was called Permission to Fail. And it was like, you know what, you just got to try something, and the worst that can happen is you fail, but you still learn from it.
Yes.
And I think that even as you talked about in your career, you were like, I tried power washing, it wasn't for me. So I think I want to end with this question, and we literally only have maybe about a minute. How
Already?
did you get your name, Powerhouse Pat?
Well, that came from...
And we got 30 seconds.
Yes, Powerhouse. I always thought it was a very strong name. Also, I was initially going to call it Powerhouse Washing, but I ended up using Connecticut Clean and Removal, but that name stuck in my head for different reasons. And one, I used it first as a entertainment company and brought Jaheim down, and after that we started with Powerhouse as a brand for cell phone stores.
And I thought it had to do with your playing basketball. So
Yeah.
Pat, listen, I am so excited to have had you today. Thank you for coming on right before your vacation. I think that there's a lot of things that are going to be coming up for you, and we definitely want to be watching, paying attention, knowing when your comedy shows and all of that are out. So thank you for coming out today.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank all our viewers for tuning in each week. I want to thank Terry again for stepping in where I needed her to. I think she's amazing. We come to you live right here on Soundview Community TV each Tuesday at 6:30. Make sure that you're following us on YouTube, that you look for our show, that you go on our website, and you call in and let us know when you want to refer someone to be on our show. We thank you, and we'll see you next time, right here on Connecticut at Your Service.